internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. I'm going to give you a perspective today that's really going to make you hunker down and liquidate every asset that you have in a regular commercial bank and move it over to crypto assets. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, because in today's episode, you are going to see the transition is happening. Banks are failing, and everything is being set up behind the scenes. And for the first time ever in history, retail got into an asset class before the big heavyweight champions like JP Morgan and all those trillion-dollar companies. Right now, you're looking at the live crypto market, and we have the spot market cap at $2.1 trillion. Bitcoin alone is 1.3 trillion. Ethereum is almost $500 billion. And fiat-backed stablecoins is only just under 150 billion for the whole market. And the fact that we are pioneers and we are ground zero into this brand spanking new asset class, this is what we're going up against. And keep in mind, the capital is going to flow to crypto. The whole stock market is sitting at $104 trillion. Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, trillion-dollar companies. And this crypto ecosystem is sitting at $2 trillion. Stablecoins alone is 150 billion, just under. Do you see where we're going with this? And this is why when Garlinghouse said this yesterday.
The second is, I think there's likely to be some shifts in market share. Today, Tether is by far the dominant. You know, the U.S. government, for better or for worse, we can debate, but the U.S. government has kind of expressed concerns about Tether and how it operates outside of the United States, representing a U.S. dollar, operates outside of the United States, representing a U.S. dollar. I think the U.S. government has taken the position, well, if you're representing a U.S. dollar, you need to be regulated by the United States. That isn't the case today, and I think there may be some shifts in how that market share. But look, overall, I think Tether will continue to grow. I think USDC will continue to grow. But I think there's a lot of room as that market grows for a Ripple-backed.
There's going to be significant market shifts, right? $3 trillion on a conservative scale for the whole stablecoin market. We're sitting at under $150 billion. And if USDT, Tether, like what Brad Garlinghouse said,
operates outside of the United States, representing a U.S. dollar,
they're going to lose a lot of market share if they don't comply. I don't see Tether lasting 10 years at all. In my opinion, that it is not durable, especially to their standards. They're nowhere compliance friendly. So let's take a look at the banks failing. And don't forget, in 2022, they told you this at the World Government Summit, that they're going to ditch the old system and they're going to introduce a new one. And look where we are today, all the events that have taken place since this statement was made.
And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain.
And here we have the FDIC publishing some numbers, and this is going to shock you. There's a lot of banks out there, but keep in mind, they're pretty much all the small ones are going to gone. All these little banks are going to be gone. And once they introduce a brand spanking system, a lot of these banks are going to be useless because they're not going to generate enough revenue nor profits to actually, keep the lights on in their offices. And if you're not familiar with the FDIC, we're going to connect it to Ripple, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Keep in mind, this was created when the whole Great Depression was going on to restore trust in the American citizens. Remember what I always tell you about restoring trust? Again, they just created this out of thin air. FDIC, now every bank is complying by it. Unrealized losses on available for sale and held to maturity securities increased by $39 billion to $500 billion. From $39 billion to $500 billion in the first quarter. Higher unrealized losses and residential mortgage-backed securities resulting from higher mortgage rates in the first quarter drove the overall increases. This is significant. And look at how many banks are involved. The number of banks on this problem bank list, those with CAMEL's composite ratings of 4 or 5, increased from 52 in fourth quarter 2023 to 63 in first quarter 2024. And this will accelerate. These issues could cause credit quality, earnings, and liquidity challenges, keep that in mind, for the industry. In addition, deterioration in certain loan profiles, particularly office properties and credit card loans, continue to warrant monitoring. A lot of people are in debt and people are going to get hit by a storm. And you guys know who's a part of the Systemic Resolution Advisory Committee at the FDIC? Your one and only Sandy O'Connor. Sandy O'Connor is on the board of directors at Ripple for 3 years and 7 months and has been FDIC under Systemic Resolution Advisory Committee member for 4 years now. Everything that they're doing behind the scenes, all the trillions of dollars that they printed during COVID, the only reason, I've stated this in the past, the only reason why they printed so much is because they knew this whole printing money out of thin air is going to stop eventually, so they just did it. They know they're going to introduce a new system. And don't forget what Ripple also said.
Attribute of a healthy liquid market is really resilience. And that is getting at the ability for a market to recover from a significant systemic event. The ability for a market to recover from a significant systemic event.
And there's going to be a lot of liquidity challenges if banks start falling and the dominoes start falling. And Brad Garlinghouse is set to, today at 3 p.m., talk about an XRP ETF on Fox News. Right now it is 12:47 as I'm recording this Eastern time, and it hasn't happened yet. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I personally think he's going to say we should see one by within so-and-so months. By this time, he's going to give us a time frame. Because it's already being talked about behind the scenes that we're not going to know about. But exclusively, they know what's about to happen, and they know what's coming down the pipeline. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget this video that I published July 14th of last year saying a spot XRP ETF was coming. Of course, it was clickbait, called it. It was hopium, called it. The ones that understand, I know exactly how this is going to play out. I know it may sound a little cliche or a little stroking my own ego, but given the utility of XRP, given the clarity that XRP has, this thing is going to melt faces. And just listen to what Brad Garlinghouse stated here in regards to XRP. You know, they have clarity. It's done. XRP has the clarity. Now they could actually let this thing breathe. And he goes on to mention how they're not getting 2 billion. It's going to be in the millions, but which we already knew 2 billion was way far-fetched. But listen to what Brad Garlinghouse said here.
Judge, so they said that XRP was not a token in the context of retail use. It was a different story for institutions. Where do things stand with that case right now?
So right now, what the courts ruled and the judge said very clearly is XRP in and of itself is not a security. That's everything to us. That was, you know, these are technologies that should be allowed to kind of breathe and thrive and grow. And to me, it's, again, the inevitable march of those technologies, the progress. The case between Ripple and the SEC, we feel like is largely resolved. Most of that went Ripple's way. I think we'll see resolution hopefully this summer. You know, the SEC asked for $2 billion in fines. You know, my estimation is that'll be, you know, certainly in the millions, not the billions.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But this is not to create any kind of FUD. You guys already know the bigger picture. This whole crypto ecosystem, right? The whole stablecoin market cap alone is 150 billion, just under that. The whole crypto ecosystem is 2.7 trillion compared to the stock market at 104 trillion. I guarantee you, I probably won't be alive to see this. Maybe I will be. Maybe none of us will be. But this ecosystem, our grandkids will see it go to like 200 trillion and 300 trillion. Because this is something that has never been implemented before. And you're bringing value. You're creating more value, right? And it is all going to be transparent. It's all going to be on the blockchain. And some of you guys may not understand what I'm saying or may not see it. It's because it just hasn't happened yet, and our minds have not been programmed to see it. Most of us were born into the current system, and our parents raised us to the current system. So we were never really way back there to see when this all started. We were kind of just born into the system, and we were told what to do. But when you actually go and dissect to see what's happening, there is change happening, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Forget all the fundamentals. Forget utility. Forget you don't need to know anything about crypto. You could be the most dumbest individual on the planet. If you're questioning this perspective in terms of, look at the whole ecosystem here, 2.6 trillion. Where is this going to go? It's going to go up. And it's going to keep going up for decades. Yes, you heard that right. Decades. This thing is going to go up for decades. And if I can't help you. I mean, this is probably the easiest way of me presenting to you how much money there is to be made right now. And you holding your money in stocks like Apple, Amazon, Alphabet. Any of these are the returns you're going to gain through crypto assets are going to be enormous compared to any kind of peasant money you're going to make through here. And if you're going to be making a lot of money in this whole stock market, the only way you're making a lot of money in the stock market, I'll tell you right now, because I've dealt with wealth management, the only way you're making a lot of money in the stocks if you have a lot of capital. Okay? But with crypto, we are still at the early stages. And look, there's 8,400 companies here. And right now in crypto, there's about 2.4 million coins. I don't think that is correct. But keep in mind, it is going to be about, on a conservative scale, I'm being so nice right now, 500 coins possibly. That's actually out there thriving, and doing really, really, really well. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think I said that so many times now, but we're going to wrap up the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But it's all coming to an end. It's all coming to an end. And if you're new, if you're just getting into crypto within the last 6 months or the last year or the last year and a half, do your research. Look at what I presented to you today in terms of the whole market cap and perception. Then pull trigger. There is no reason. This is not financial advice. I hold 0 stocks. They're absolute garbage. It was inflated by prop money through the Federal Reserve. It's going to stick around. It's not going to go bust, but I don't mess with it. Let me know if you guys mess with stocks in the comments down below. But Tether, in my opinion, not going to last 10 years. There is no way. That is so unsustainable, given the way they're operating. Not FUD, just reality.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch. I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.